Allahu Akbar. It is such a joy and honor for me to be standing here before you under the shadow of the Temple for Europe and to address a subject which is so important. And I'm so grateful, actually, to the Association for Baha'i Studies for deciding on this subject in consultation, as I understand, with the National Spiritual Assembly. Can you hear my voice? Yes? Okay. I thought that the first thing I would like to do is to tell the German Baha'is or the German citizens, whether you are Baha'is or not, does not matter, what Shoghi Effendi has written about this community. I think it's very important for all of us to realize the way that Shoghi Effendi has described you. It's very important in my view. I'll read to you a few passages from his letters. The brave and valiant lovers of Abdul Baha, their generous and spontaneous attitude to help others, their arduous, devoted, and efficient services. This is all from Shoghi Effendi, nothing from me. Their heroic fortitude, their unflinching faith, their undaunted courage, as prophesied by Abdul Baha, Germany will emerge in the not far distant future mighty, united, and glorious, to take her destined place in the councils of the nations. This has happened already. Their ardent devotion, their unquestioned sincerity, their unrivaled capacity, their ability, their ardor, their thoroughness, their sagacity, their constancy, their magnificent endeavors, their tenacity of purpose, their firmness of faith, their ardor and their love, their grasp of the divine teachings, their ability, their patience. Maybe you are surprised, but this is what Shoghi Effendi has written about you. Their open-mindedness, their capacity to weather the fiercest storms and overcome formidable obstacles, their worthiness to rank as the standard bearers of the faith of Baha'u'llah. Wow. This virile, steadfast, and dearly loved community, this highly promising and richly endowed community, maybe you don't believe it, but it's true. Believe me, I have I have not finished. There is another half a page. I have rarely seen such praise from the pen of Shoghi Effendi about other communities. Maybe the American Baha'i community has had a little bit more. Maybe the Persian community, because of their sufferings, because of their martyrdom, they have deserved the praise of Shoghi Effendi. But apart from the United States and apart from Iran, I have not seen such praise as this. Believe me, you should be proud that you belong to this community, that you are German, or if you are not German, you are Germanized. They're high-minded and great-hearted believers. They're long oppressed, indefatigable, and much admired community. Their particular and in many ways unique reinforcement of the work connected with Baha'i research and scholarship, in view of the characteristic qualities of painstaking thoroughness, of scientific exactitude, and dispassionate criticism distinguishing the race to which they belong. And this is the last one. Their task of implanting the banner of the rising order of their faith in the neighboring sovereign states and dependencies of the European continent and beyond, even beyond to its borders, as far as the heart of Asia. That is your destiny. This is your competence. This is the expectation that Shoghi Effendi, the sign of God on earth, has written over his signature these statements that I have shared with you. Now we come to our subject. I have told the chairman to raise his voice, to raise his hand whenever the time comes, and I will shut up. Now, the subject of scholarship, in Persian, in the writings of Baha'u'llah, he has not used terms that have been used in the past by other religions. He has used new words. For example, for scholarship, for those of you who speak Persian or understand Persian, he used the word fazl. And for the scholar, he used the word fazel. In Iran, we had Fazel Mazandarani, we had Fazel Tehrani, we had Fazel Yazdi, and so on and so forth. Then Baha'u'llah gave a title to one of these wonderful scholars of the faith. And he said, you are the Abul Fazl, Mirza Abul Fazl, who I'm sure you must have heard his name. He is the most outstanding scholar of our faith. He spoke, of course, Persian and wrote Persian, and he's perfect Arabic. He was a historian. He had deep knowledge about world affairs. He always read the newspapers, always kept abreast of what was going on. Baha'u'llah gave him the title of Abul Fazl, the father of scholarship. And he devoted or dedicated one of the rooms of the mansion of Baha'u'llah in the name of Mirza Abul Fazl. As you enter the hall, it is on your right. One of those rooms is dedicated to the name of Mirza Abul Fazl. So important he is. We thank Shoghi Effendi that he did not use terms of other religions for ourselves. He used the word scholarship, for example. It's so wonderful. He did not use the word theologian or theology. Oh, thank God. When he was referring to other religions, he mentioned the word theology and theologian, but not for the Baha'is. Never. We thank him that he used these new terms to show the distinction of the Baha'i faith, that we are not a repetition of other religions. Now, Baha'u'llah, when he is referring to scholars, to these fazels, now, on the one hand, see what Baha'u'llah does. On the one hand, he tells us, and of course, whoever wants to be a scholar, he says that we should not exalt ourselves to others, prefer ourselves to others, consider ourselves better, consider ourselves more knowledgeable, more virtuous than others. We shouldn't do that. That we are better than others in knowledge or in learning. We shouldn't do that. So this is what he's telling us, everyone sitting us in this room, in this hall. At the same time, he tells his community, he says, now, if there are scholars among them, respect them, honor them, show deference to them. This is very important. They are stars of the community. This is very important. Now, see how in two voices, how he speaks to the community, general, how he speaks to the individual. To me, he says, Ali, be quiet now. Don't consider yourself to be any better from me. And he tells you the same thing. But to the community, he says, now if you find somebody who has understanding and knowledge and has worked hard and is, respect him. Show deference to him. Now, where is the problem? The problem is that when you hear somebody praising you, you have a test, you have a problem. You think, maybe I am somebody. They are praising me. Maybe I'm really somebody. This is a test. We fall in the same hole, in the same well that he's telling us, don't fall there. We should not be affected, neither by praise, nor criticism, nor blame. Someone asked Abdul Baha, I want to be detached. How can I know? How I become detached? The answer is very simple. He says, if you are affected when people praise you, you are not detached. If you are also disappointed when people blame you, you are not detached. They blame you, okay, that's how he thinks or she thinks, never mind, whatever. Get it out of your system. Conceal it. Forgive it. Be merciful. Be compassionate. I should not think that, people are praising me. Therefore, I must be really something of a star. No. From the beginning, he said, don't consider yourself to be better. So you see how Baha'u'llah is educating us. Now, I would like to read to you some quotations from the writings of Shoghi Effendi. Writing in 1924, only 3 years after his guardianship. Both Baha'u'llah and Abdul Baha have given a very high position to men of culture and knowledge. And Baha'u'llah says in one of his tablets that respect shown to such people is incumbent upon all Baha'is. Another statement. This one written in 1943. The cause needs more Baha'i scholars. People who not only are devoted to it and believe in it and are anxious to tell others about it, but also who have a deep grasp of the teachings and their significance, and who can correlate its beliefs with the current thoughts and problems of the people of the world. This is a very important passage. Very, very important passage. Writing in 1949, it seems that what we need now is a more profound and coordinated Baha'i scholarship in order to attract such men as you are contacting. And finally, writing in 1949 again, we need Baha'i scholars. Not only people far more deeply aware of what our teachings really are, but also well-read and well-educated people capable of correlating our teachings to the current thoughts of the leaders of society. These quotations that I read to you are all from Shoghi Effendi, written in English. Now, they are really based on certain statements made by Baha'u'llah himself. And I will read to you those passages. In the Kitab-i-Aqdas, happy are ye, O ye the learned ones in Baha. The learned ones is another term for scholars. By the Lord, ye are the billows of the most high ocean, the stars of the firmament of glory, the standards of triumph waving betwixt means between earth and heaven. This is from the Kitab-i-Aqdas. Then we read in the Lawh-e-Dunya, tablet of the world. O people of God, is referring to us, Baha'is. Righteous men of learning who dedicate themselves to the guidance of others and are freed and well guarded from the promptings of a base and covetous nature are, in the sight of Him who is the desire of the world, stars of the heaven of true knowledge. It is essential to treat them with deference. You see, as I told you, on the one hand, he tells the individual, be careful now, don't fall into the wall, into the well. Second, he tells us, if you see somebody with good knowledge and understanding and so on, show your deference, honor him. So you see, two different voices, depending on who is being addressed. Now, at the same time, when you read the writings of Baha'u'llah, you see that he has also given certain exhortations, that means advice, sometimes even warnings to those who have been shown deference because of their knowledge and understanding. He says, be careful now. Because, as I told you, when we hear praise, we think we are important. He's giving us warnings. First, this is very important. If there are 4 points I want to mention. If I only mention this one, it's enough. It's one of the distinctions of our faith. authority does not rest in individuals. Capital letters. Authority is vested in institutions. That's one of the distinctions of the Baha'i faith. All past religions vested authority in individuals. A rabbi, a sheikh, a priest, individuals. They have authority. In the faith, the individual has no authority, friends. This is one of our distinctions. No one. If we say Abdul Baha was an individual, he was an institution. He was not just an individual. Shoghi Effendi was an institution as well as being an individual. But you and I, we are not an institution. We are individuals. We are human beings. We make mistakes. We have no authority. No one has authority. Institutions have. Appointed institutions even do not have authority. Hands of the cause of God do not have authority. Counselors do not have authority. Auxiliary board members have no authority. They are advisors, not authority. Administrative authority. Administrative authority is vested in elected institutions. Democratically elected institutions. This is one of the distinctions of our faith. If we only understand this, it's enough. I can go back and sit down. The second thing is that these scholars, whatever you want to call them, should not try to have a group of followers of their own. That I'm like your mentor, and I'm teaching you, and you are my group, and there is no such thing. But in other religions it exists, of course. Third point. There should be no argumentation. There should be no disputation. There should be no contention between one scholar and another scholar. Even if one of the two is saying the correct, is having the correct understanding and answer. Even if they have. You remember the story of Colby Ives? Colby Ives was the minister of the Unitarian Church in the United States. He met Abdul Baha. When Abdul Baha was in the United States, he wrote a book, Portals to Freedom. Beautiful book. He was, of course, a minister of the church. So the discussion was about Trinity. So he gave his opinion about Trinity. 3 gods, and each one of them is God, etc., etc. Abdul Baha said, no, this is not so. The Baha'i position is that there is a sun, there are the rays of the sun, and there is a mirror. God is like the sun. The rays are the Holy Spirit. The mirror is the manifestation of God. That is the Trinity. He said, oh no. It's not like this, it's like this. Starting an argument. Abdul Baha said, my dear, you have your opinion, and I have my opinion. Finita la musica. Finish. You want to feel that way? God bless you. I feel this way. Finish. No arguments. No discussion in this way. Heated discussion. So, this is a very important thing that Baha'u'llah says, even if you are right, but if you start argumentation, you and your friend who are doing this argumentation, both of you are not accepted in the sight of God. Very strong language. And the last point is that there are no spiritual ranks. Just like as I told you about authority, there are no special ranks, stations, spiritual stations. That what you see on the outside, for example, Somebody is a counselor. It's a position. It's a rank. Somebody is member of the National Spiritual Assembly. It's a rank. It's a position. Somebody is an auxiliary board member. It's a rank. It's a position. Now, these, according to Baha'u'llah, this is only for this world. It's not in the next world. True ranks, true stations are only known in the next world by God, not here. This is for the order of things. Things have to be organized. It's like an army. You have to have a general, you have the soldier, you have lieutenant, this, that. This is for organization. It's not true ranks in the sight of God. No. And I will quote you what the Universal House of Justice has written. It's a very important passage. It said, the Universal House of Justice hopes that all the friends will remember that the ultimate aim in life of every soul should be to attain spiritual excellence, to win the good pleasure of God. The true spiritual station of any soul is known only to God. May I repeat this sentence? The true spiritual station of any soul is known only to God. Not to you and me. It is quite a different thing from the ranks and stations that men and women occupy in the various sections of society. Now, are you tired? Yeah, are you tired? Yes or no? Yeah. I am not tired either. But I am thirsty. And you tell me when it is time, yeah? Okay. Now, so you see how important it is for all of us not to only concentrate on Baha'i teachings only. This is essential, yes, but we should have a broad knowledge of the problems of the world. We should know everything. I spend so much time, I don't say I am a model, but I spend so much time on my computer every day trying to keep abreast with the situation in the world today. Politically, economically, scientifically, I try to keep myself informed of what's going on in the world. This is important. It's important not only for those scholars who call themselves scholars, but for you and me. We have to be like that. Every one of us should be like that. Dear friends, the other point I want to discuss with you is the difference between knowledge and understanding. I repeat, knowledge and understanding. Sometimes we use these two terms interchangeably, as if they were synonymous. Well, it's the same thing. And sometimes it's used in the writings, knowledge. In Persian we say ilm and irfan. We say ilm wa irfan. Are almost synonymous. Then when you read the writings carefully, you see that it is not so. Take, for example, this letter addressed to the friends in Germany. He says, he feels indeed, Shoghi Effendi, he feels indeed that the time has come for the German believers to acquire a thorough knowledge, as well as means and also. So it's something more than knowledge. Thorough knowledge, as well as full understanding. So understanding is not the same. You can use it interchangeably, it's okay, but different. Knowledge is one thing. I'll give you certain examples so that we understand. As well as full understanding of such important tablets as Baha'u'llah's Book of the Covenant and Abdul Baha's Will and Testament. Understanding is not the same as knowledge. Take these words of Baha'u'llah. Ponder in thy heart that the sweet gales means breezes, winds, that the sweet gales of divine knowledge, blowing from the meads means meadows, from the meads of mercy, may waft upon thee the fragrance of the beloved's utterance, and cause thy soul to attain the Rizwan of understanding. So, the gale itself is knowledge. The wind, the breeze is knowledge. The fragrance is understanding. See the difference that Baha'u'llah distinction is making between the breeze, you feel the breeze on your face, and you like it. But then, in addition to that, there is something else. Fragrance. Rizwan. Rizwan here means paradise. Rizwan is another word for paradise. You leave this world and you enter paradise. Now, every knowledge, according to the Islamic tradition, has 70 meanings, of which one only is known among the people. 70 meanings. That's understanding. The outward knowledge is the hadith itself, the words. You know them. You may even memorize it. You know it. That's knowledge. But the meanings, the implications, 70 meanings. That's understanding. That's the beginning of understanding. Now, see how Baha'u'llah helps us. In the Kitab Aqdas, he says, read ye the tablets. Read ye the tablets, that ye may know that what hath been purposed in the books of God. So there is a difference, two things, not one thing. First, read. Read and study are two different things. You read the newspaper. Are you studying the newspaper? No. He says, read the writings in such a way that you understand the purpose I have in mind when I have whatever I have written. This is where, in the Kitab Aqdas, he makes a clear distinction between knowledge, read, you know. I can memorize it. They make tests, they have international tournaments for the Bible. Who can memorize the Bible? They have tournaments for the Quran. And children come and they win prizes. But do they understand? No, they know. They have knowledge. They don't have understanding. They know the whole book. They have memorized the whole book. But they don't understand it. See the difference between the two. And this is addressed not to scholars only. It is addressed to you and to me. In the Kitab Aqdas. It's, O people of my people, O people. Read in such a way so that you understand what I have in mind. What is my purpose? Two different things. I got another one. Immerse yourselves. Go deep. Immerse yourself. Drown yourself. Immerse yourselves in the ocean of my words. that he may unravel its secrets. So there are secrets, there are mysteries, and discover all the pearls of wisdom that lie hid. Hid here means hidden. That lie hid in its depths. He says, first of all, don't go to the sea and wet your feet and say, I have come to the sea. That's obvious. Don't go in a little bit and just look and see, you see dark things, you don't know what it is. Go deep down. There are pearls inside. Knowledge that you have come to the sea is not enough. Deep go there. I have secrets. I have mysteries. I have pearls in these shells. Find the shells. Open the shells. Find the pearls. The pearls are yours. This is the difference between knowledge and understanding. Shoghi, in one of his writings, not in one, several writings, Baha'u'llah speaks about not only understanding, he says true understanding. He adds the word true. Knowledge and true understanding. Now, knowledge as well as understanding, both of them, are not end in themselves. They are preliminaries. Preliminaries for something else. First of all, for a Baha'i life. I have to live a Baha'i life. My knowledge and my understanding, it's fine. But I have to live the life. Among the things I have to live the life is to teach the cause. I have to have this knowledge of the world, of the teachings, broad knowledge, understanding, so that I can teach the cause. I'll be an effective teacher. I will promote the teaching work. So this is one of the things. The other thing is to defend the cause. There's a difference between teaching the cause and defending the cause. My dear friends, please understand that the faith of God is going to go from strength to strength. This is destined. This is God's faith. It's not a human faith. It's not a human creation. Baha'u'llah has created this messenger of God, manifestation of it. He has guaranteed the triumph of his cause, the victory of his cause. There will be resistance. There will be resistance against the growth of the faith, the development of the faith, the triumph of the faith. We have to be ready for that. I will speak a little bit more in case there is time. I will speak a little bit more about the defense. Now I'll give you this statement made by Shoghi Effendi, which I think is very important, which he makes a distinction between intellectual understanding and true understanding. The thing is Sherman, again also addressed to Germany. The thing the German believers must do is to deepen themselves in the covenants of Baha'u'llah and of Abdul Baha. Now look at this sentence, which I think should be written in gold. Mere intellectual understanding of the teachings is not enough. May I repeat this sentence? Mere means simple. Simply to have mere intellectual understanding of the teachings is not enough. Deep spirituality is essential. And the foundation of true spirituality is steadfastness in the covenant. Now, I'll give you an example. For example, you open the Kitab al-Aqdas, the most holy book. There is a supposition that Baha'u'llah makes in the Kitab al-Aqdas. A very interesting supposition. He says, supposing now we have two parties, man and woman, they want to get married. Before marriage, they have an agreement. Certain agreement. It should be like this, it should be like this. If it's not like this, the marriage will be dissolved, will be cancelled. They enter the marriage. They find that one of those conditions, or the main condition, has not been observed. It has been broken. It has been breached. What is the duty of a Baha'i? Baha'u'llah says, forgive. Don't make it into an issue. Don't break the marriage. Forgive. Your party did not comply. Never mind. Forgive. Why? Because it is more pleasing to God. Now, an intellectual, how does he look at this? He looks at this, oh yeah, this is very simple. He's a secular intellectual. All right, this is very good. Baha'u'llah says that because he has come for unity, so you don't like to be, you've made a mistake, you hope that you will be forgiven. All right, forgive others. This is the golden rule. Do unto others what you like others to do unto you. This is a secular approach, intellectual approach. This is very good. This is fine. But Shoghi Effendi said this is not enough. This is intellectual acceptance. This is not enough. Intellectual understanding is something else. There is the last part. It is more pleasing unto God. Oh, God comes into it. That's why Shoghi Effendi says, speak about the covenant. What is the covenant? The covenant is that this faith of Baha'u'llah has a covenant. There is a Lord of the covenant. He is Baha'u'llah. He presides over the destinies of his faith. He looks after the destinies of his faith. He is present. He sees. He oversees. He conducts. He directs. The divine providence, the invisible hand of God is at work. A secular intellectual will not accept this. He looks at it from a purely practical point of view. This is for unity, this is fine. But an intellectual approach is not enough. It should be a spiritual approach. The spiritual approach comes from the covenant. Because the covenant is in charge. Baha'u'llah is the Lord of the covenant. He appoints Abdul Baha, I have to accept Abdul Baha. Abdul Baha appoints Shoghi Effendi, I have to accept Shoghi Effendi. The Universal House of Justice is clearly stated in the Kitab-i-Aqdas, I have to accept the Universal House of Justice. This is the covenant. My dear friends, the covenant is not only the law of succession, there is another component to the covenant, and that is there is God. He is in charge. That is important. There is a love of God. There is accountability. When I die, I am responsible before God. Everything I do, I'm accountable. I'm answerable to God. It's different. A new dimension has been added. This is the important thing, which changes intellectual understanding to spiritual, true, heavenly understanding. You have not raised your finger yet. All right. Now, Shoghi Effendi, there is a statement made by Abdul Baha that I must quote for you here. when the friends do not endeavor to spread the message, they fail to remember God befittingly and will not witness the tokens of assistance and confirmation from the Abha kingdom. If he had stopped here, it's very clear. He has said this many times. He said that you teach the cause, you will see with your own eyes how God will help you. He will interfere. He will intervene. He will come to your assistance, and you will feel that He's there. He has helped you. Well, this is so far so good, no problem. But then, in this particular tablet, he continues. And, he adds, and will comprehend the divine mysteries. So, divine mysteries, the secrets, the pearls. He says, Abdul Baha'i, in essence, he's saying this. He says, there are two ways. This is my way of understanding what Abdul Baha'i is saying. There are two ways to discover the mysteries. There are mysteries. There are 70 meanings we don't know. Mysteries are there. The pearls are there. Okay. There are two ways. One is for you to think, to reflect, to pray, to read, to study, to think again until you get this understanding. This is one way. You are in your study, you are in your house, you pray about it. Today, you pray about it. Tomorrow, you think, what is this? Where is this mystery? You get it through prayer. This is one way. But he says there is a second way. Excuse me to say, much simpler way. Teach the cause. Wow. Deliver the message. Wow. Become a teacher, a proclaimer of the teachings of Baha'u'llah. Have courage. Teach. You will not only receive divine assistance, you will discover and comprehend the mysteries which are hidden in my words. Because He will help you. You don't have just to reflect all the time and pray all the time and look at this and quote this. This is you can do. Of course you can do. This is one way. But there's a second way. Simple way. And if we understand this, see how we can grow spiritually. How teaching helps us to grow spiritually. To discover the mysteries. How we will become instruments in His hand. How He can assist us. How He can help us. So that we can help His cause. All right. Now, what I would like to say now is, I hope I have the time. I've spoken about teaching. I've spoken about scholarship. I've spoken about true understanding as distinct from knowledge. I want to tell you, friends, that unfortunately, I have seen in the Baha'i community in recent years things that have surprised me. I went to the United States. I saw the problem there. I went to Japan. I saw the problem there. I went to Canada. I saw the problem there. Recently, I have been traveling for 3 months. When I came back from my travels, I was so weak, I could not eat. I'd lost my appetite. What was the problem? The problem was that because the House of Justice has given us the institute process, that is the only thing we have to do. That is wrong. That is where the mistake is. Dear friends, the House of Justice has never said that the core activities are the only things we have to do. There is no such thing in the writings. That instead of having firesides, we have study circles. That the idea of firesides is an old stuff. This is the old method. The new method is study circles. This is wrong. There is no such thing in the writings of the House of Justice. Never. My dear friends, the faith of God runs on two lines, just like a train. Two lines, not one line. One is institutional, one is individual. Both are meant to work together. They are not meant to cancel each other. No. They are meant to complement each other, not cancel each other, not nullify each other. There should be coherence. Coherence means one side should be coherent, considerate, consistent about the needs of the other. And this one should also be consistent and about the work of the other. The two work together. Baha'u'llah says that you have to teach the cause. Every individual has to teach the cause. Abdul Baha, you have to teach the cause in such a way so that you bring one person every year to the cause. Do I do it? The tablets of Abdul Baha, the House of Justice has said, forget the tablets of Abdul Baha now, only core activities. Is that what they have said? Shoghi Effendi praised the firesides. Is there anything in the writings of the House of Justice stop firesides? Maybe an assistant to an auxiliary board member may have told you this. This does not make it a text. Tell the auxiliary board member, show me the text. No such thing. The House of Justice speaks about firesides as necessary. If everything had to be bundled and forgotten, why do we have this Association for Baha'i Studies? Why have they not stopped it? Why? Why have they not stopped summer schools and winter schools? Why? It's there. It's part of Baha'i life. The House of Justice has never said anything like this. It may be this assistant or the auxiliary board member may have said that. Please, dear friends, understand. The two go together. As a community, we are supposed to do both. Now, as an individual, maybe I cannot do both. The House of Justice has told me that if you cannot go and knock at doors and read the ANA presentation, it doesn't matter. Don't do it. When they say don't do it, does it mean go and sit at home and do nothing? No, I'm not saying that. They say, if you can't do this, don't do it. In other words, continue doing the other thing that you have been doing all your life. Instead, what do? I sit down and say, thank God there is a new method now. The old method is finished. I have nothing to do. Finished. If somebody tells me they have done this, I'm ready to applaud. I'm ready to clap. I'm ready to encourage. But I do nothing. That's wrong. Who has said this? The House of Justice certainly has not said this. There are two lines, institutional, individual. Both are important. Now, the last part of my presentation is about the defense of the cause. Now, the defense of the cause is so important that I must drink before I continue. You know, there is a passage from the writings of Abdul Baha. Shoghi Effendi has quoted this passage 2-3 times in his letters to remind us again and again, in Persian, in English, repeated. I don't remember that any passage has been so repeatedly mentioned by Shoghi Effendi, quoted by Shoghi Effendi, than this passage. I'll first read it. How great, I'm sure you all are familiar with this. How great, how very great is the cause. How very fierce the onslaught of all the peoples and kindreds of the earth. Ere long shall the clamor of the multitude throughout Africa, throughout America, the cry of the European and the Turk, the groaning of India and of China, be heard from far and near. one and all, they shall arise with all their power to resist his cause. Then shall the knights of the Lord, knights small k, not capital K. Then shall the knights of the Lord, assisted by his grace from on high, strengthened by faith, assisted by the power of understanding. Power of understanding. And reinforced by the legions of the covenant, arise and make manifest the truth of the verse. Behold, the confusion that hath befallen the tribes of the defeated. You know, when Mr. Banani was on pilgrimage, the hand of the cause of God, again, Shoghi Effendi quoted this poem. He knew it by heart. As he was walking in the gardens, he would quote this. When I was on pilgrimage alone, he did the same thing. He was walking in the garden. The whole thing that I read, he read in Persian. He knew it by heart. And as he was reading, he would comment. You see, and I would like you to understand that when he reached all, because the word all has been repeated twice in this passage, all will arise. One and all. He told me, notice, Abdul Baha says, all. There is no exception. It is true, this is the pilgrim's note. He said, there is no exception. My dear friends, this means that in Germany you are going to have opposition. You have to be prepared for it. You have to know how to defend the cause. Not only to teach the cause and proclaim the cause, but to defend the cause. Everywhere it's going to be. In Europe, he specifies Europe particularly. China, India, everywhere. Because this is the cause of God. It's progressing, it's developing. The other religions will be concerned. The House of Justice is telling us we are engaged in the process of entry by troops. You think when we have entry by troops, the others will be hope they tell the Baha'is, bravo. They won't say bravo. They will oppose us. They will resist the growth of the faith. They will try to stop the growth of the faith. We have to be ready for this. We have to know how to defend the cause. Now, Abdul Baha gives us how this is going to happen at the end of his passage. He says, first, divine assistance, divine help. We are not alone. This is the cause of God, not the cause of Hussein Ali, who was a Persian scholar in Baha'u'llah, in Iran. This is Baha'u'llah, the blessed perfection, the blessed duty, the cause of God. He has brought this message, this dispensation. He is responsible. He is presiding over the destinies of his cause. I have repeated this now twice. He sees, he oversees, he knows, he loves his cause. You think he will leave his cause? No. You think he's going to leave us? No. He's waiting to see who will arise. Who will arise with faith? Now, faith, my dear friends, that's mentioned here, faith is the beginning of something. It's not the whole thing. Just like knowledge is the beginning of understanding, faith is the beginning of certitude. Two different, Iman and Iqan. We must have faith alone is recognition of Baha'u'llah. Iqan is certitude. It's the difference between love and ardent love. Love and intoxicated love. That's the difference. In Persian, hub is love. Ishq is ardent love. It's more than just love. It becomes an intoxicated lover of the cause. Faith is like that. Faith is the beginning. It should flourish and blossom and become certitude. When we arise, this is the first thing. When we arise with faith and certitude, we attract divine blessings. That's the first thing that will come, will be helping in resisting, in opposing, in answering the attacks that we are going to receive. Ourselves, you and I, our faith, our love, our ardent love, our true certitude. That is first. Second, he says, the power of understanding. He doesn't say power of knowledge, the power of understanding. You know the word power originally in the text, original text, is warrior. He didn't use the word warrior. The word is jund. Jund means soldier, warrior. Junud is the plural. That's the original. Shoghi Effendi is translating. He just puts power. Power of understanding. Because understanding has power. It's like a soldier. It's like a warrior. It helps. And that's why it's important for all of us, friends, not just to read the writings, but to study the writings, to understand the writings, true understanding, deep grasp, teaching the cause and understanding the mysteries, strengthening ourselves selflessly, devotedly, with dedication, with perseverance. That's how we grow, and that's how the faith will be helped. And then finally, the second, therefore, is the scholars. I think true understanding here is a reference to the scholars. All of us, but more particularly the scholars. They will come. They have no authority, mind you, but they have the understanding. They start explaining wise understanding. And finally, he says, it will be aided by the power of understanding, reinforced by the legions of the covenant. The legions of the covenant are the institutions, the elected institutions. Legions is a term, it's a military term, it's an army. The army of God are the elected institutions. They are the leaders. The individual believers cannot become leaders. The scholars cannot become leaders with authority. They can't. They can encourage. They can advise. They can stimulate. But they don't have authority. The authority is now vested in the army, the generals. In fact, Shoghi Effendi called national assemblies the generals of the 10-year crusade. He used the military term. Here, legions is a military term. Organized. The administrative order, the elected administrative order, they will come. And at the top of local assemblies, on top of national assemblies, will be the universal house of justice. These are the legions of the covenant. So to summarize, it's a tripod. It's a tripod, 3 legs. You and I, and our faith. Second, true understanding, the power of understanding. Study the faith. Be ready. Second leg. And the third leg, the legions of the covenant. The administrative order. Finita la musica.